All right, guys, welcome back to Win Fantasy Football WFF. Now, let's get that lineup set right for week 9. Not make a mistake and leave too many points on the bench. So, let's go ahead and do the quarterbacks, tight ends, and defense. What's up next? Wide receivers and running backs. So, let's get it going. Patrick Mahomes is number 1 this week. He got his weapons back. You can tell the defense is actually getting stops. Why does that matter? Because they can't just run the ball against the Chiefs, and the defense is actually stepping up in the secondary. So Mahomes is getting more pass attempts because, well, they're getting the ball back. So defense is playing better. You guys' weapons back. Mahomes is looking amazing this week. Now, Allen had an off week last week. I get it. I think he bounces back this week. I know a couple of weeks he might have been disappointed, but I think with this matchup, yeah, you're going to get your points. Now, Dak doesn't have the best matchup this week, but it doesn't matter because they're number 1 in passing. He's going to get his points. He's going to get his pass attempt, and he's going to get his touchdowns. So, yeah, Dak is definitely going to be S tier. Going to be S tier, guys, because how much they're passing the ball. And with this matchup, I'm loving it. So, yeah, Herbert is on fire right now, and I don't expect that to stop. It looked amazing, and it ain't this Tennessee defense ain't. Cleveland was a tough defense on paper, and May shined. He just did 3 touchdowns last week. Playing against Atlanta, Atlanta's defense has been hit and miss, and what Miami just did to them, I'm not afraid of him. May looks like he's going to be able to keep this rolling, and the Patriots are going to win the game, and May's going to get his point. Stafford playing the Saints, look for him in this matchup to get his points. Coming back off this bye week, being rested. I love the matchup. Start him. You're going to love it too. I get it. Caleb Williams has been looking bad. The last 3 weeks, he has 1 passing touchdown. That's insane. He gets back on track this week against the Bengals. Why? Because the Bengals are horrible against the pass. They're going to make Williams look like a Hall of Famer. So I know you're not confident starting him, but this is the matchup you want. Sam Darnold has a great matchup against Washington this week. So yeah, it's going to continue rolling with them. If you're thinking about starting somebody else and they're not in front of him on this list, go ahead and start Darnold with confidence this week, and he's going to have his target. So the best wide receiver in football, as far as fantasy is concerned, is on his team. Look for him to have a big game. Love was on fire last week against Pittsburgh. This week against Carolina, it gets a little rougher as far as a passing defense, but I look for Love to keep rolling. I think that Jacobs is going to have a big day, which is going to help Love. So with that being said, go ahead and start Love with confidence. Flacco has a great matchup this week against Chicago. I'm loving it. Why is he looking so great right now? It's because his wide receivers, Higgins and Chase, are getting all kinds of separation. And Flacco's able to put it in there, start him with confidence. He even ran for a touchdown last week because it's kind of funny because he's really slow. But yeah, he's looking good. So I believe that's going to continue this week. Be careful starting Bo Nix this week. This is a tough matchup. Houston is first against the pass. So look for Nix numbers to go down and look around and see who else you have on your team on the waiver wire, because this week might be the week you get burned starting Bo Nix. Daniel Jones had a pretty good matchup this week, but the problem is Taylor may just take up so much of the clock and get down there so easily. They may not have to pass the ball that much because, well, Taylor's going to go off against Pittsburgh. So besides that, though, Daniel Jones is going to be able to pass against the secondary. The Pittsburgh secondary has not looked that great. So Daniel Jones still looks like he's a streamable quarterback. Be careful with Goff. He had a bad game against Tampa Bay. He had the bye week, and now he's back. He still has a tough matchup compared to other teams. So, yeah, Goff may be a quarterback you don't start this week. It's not the most favorable matchup. And I also believe the Lions are able to run the ball quite well. So, yeah, be careful starting Goff. Law is going to be a streamable quarterback this week against this Raiders defense. This Raiders defense does not scare me, but T. Law scares me more than the Raiders defense. So be careful. He hasn't looked that great this year. Just by the way, it looks like Hunter is starting getting a lot more targets, and BTG, they're talking about this trading them. So there's some disruption there. So just be careful with Law because, well, I think there might be just better options. Jaden Daniels is still questionable right now. So we'll just say he does play. This Kansas City secondary has stepped up. It's not going to be a great matchup. And really, Daniels hasn't been looking that good. If you've been watching the games, he's definitely not looking like he did his rookie year. So be careful with Daniels. And man, I'd probably tell you to bench him this week. If you have any other questions who you should start, ask me down below. It looks like Brock Purdy's back this week, and he has a good matchup. So yeah, I believe he is going to be a streamable quarterback, and Kittle's back as well. I do look for Kittle to get that boost with Purdy coming back, so keep an eye on that. But yeah, if you're going to start Purdy any of the weeks, this is a favorable matchup to start him against. Dart is playing against a pretty tough San Francisco defense. Cam is out, so they're getting a downgrade at running back position. He still doesn't have that number one wide receiver. That does worry me. I know Dart's good. He has good pocket awareness. I really like him, but just not a great matchup this week. Tua bounced back last week against Atlanta, and that's crazy because Atlanta was second against the pass. Now, what's the difference this week? He has an amazing matchup against Baltimore. So he could be a streamable quarterback. Just be careful because other weeks he looks bad. It's kind of hit and miss. It's almost like flip a coin. But the good thing is Baltimore is horrible against the pass. Young has a tough matchup this week against the Packers. I would bench him. I would not play him. This would be somebody I move off of and look at your other matchups. If you have any questions, ask me down below. DJ Stroud has not looked good all year. Do not trust him. I don't. You shouldn't. Go ahead and move on. They're just other streamable quarterbacks. Look at the matchups like the other people I talked about in front of him. So yeah, be careful with CJ. Rodgers has a tough matchup. That's why I have him so low. This week I don't really like it because you know what? I don't know if they're going to be able to get on the field that much if Taylor can just run out the clock against this defense. So yeah, be careful with that with his pass attempts going down. And Indianapolis is not the worst against the pass, but they're not the best, right? Like Arizona embarrassed them with not a great quarterback. So, yeah, be careful. But yeah, if I was you, this would be the week I'd probably skip Rodgers. Guido has looked bad all year. He has a good matchup this week. I don't care. Don't play him. Don't trust him. Move on. If you need to stream another quarterback, ask me. But at this point, with the wide receiver core and the pass blocking this team provides, I don't trust it. JJ's back. And you know what? I don't trust him. Uh, his pocket awareness, his fumbles. He has a wide receiver, gets crazy separation, and Jefferson and Addison's good too. I just don't trust his offense right now. Let's see him do it for a while before I say that. Right now, this week, I would go ahead and bench him. And the last two we have here, guys, is Rattler and Ward. You can't start them. You really got to have other options right now. The complete offense just can't get down the field. There's no red zone opportunities. With that being said, like Tony Pollard can't even get yards. So they really cannot move the ball. Go ahead and skip them. Arizona has a great matchup, and that means McBride does. So Dallas is going to score a lot of points on Arizona. So that means McBride is going to, well, get a lot of points because they're going to have to pass the ball to catch up. So, yeah, McBride is definitely number one this week, the tight end position. Kraft has an amazing matchup against Carolina. Look for him to keep it rolling with Love. I love this matchup this week. So, yeah, Kraft is definitely a must start. I believe Kettle will bounce back even more because of the quarterback change. Purdy's back this week, and I believe Kettle's going to get fed. So if you're a Kettle owner this week, start him with confidence. You're going to be happy. BJ Warren has been doing great, and this week he's going to do amazing. Amazing matchup against Pittsburgh. They figured this guy in. They give him carries at the goal line. Remember that a couple weeks ago? This guy here is figured in the offense so much. This week, he could even win you a week. Ferguson is going to eat. Arizona is the fifth worst against tight end. That means there's only 4 teams worse than them. So, yeah, Ferguson is going to get his points and they're going to pass a ball a lot. So, if you have Ferguson, congratulations. Laporta doesn't have the best matchup against Minnesota, but I still think he's going to get his. He's getting a little more figured in the offense. And yeah, I think he's going to get some red zone targets and he's going to walk away with the touchdown. Kelsey plays against Buffalo. Buffalo is good against tight ends, but I don't think that's going to matter. I think it's going to be a shootout. So I think he's going to get his targets anyways and his yards. If you notice, since Rice has been back, what's happened, guys? I'll tell you what's happened. They have just been finding Kelsey open, just setting in zones because now Rice is helping spread the field with Worthy being just healthy, just everybody getting healthy right now. Yeah, Kelsey's going to get his points. Gadsden went off last week. Tennessee actually does good against tight ends, but I'm not worried about that. He's been figured in the offense now. He's getting his targets. He's still going to keep getting them. So yeah, look for Gaston just to be fine. If you picked up on the waiver wire, you're thinking about it, just start him. I know Kansas City has been doing pretty good against tight ends, so this could almost be a coin flip because it's going to be a shootout. Kansas City's going to go down field and score, which it might be a rough week for Cook if he's not catching the ball on the backfield. So with that being said, it's going to be a coin flip. They're good against tight ends, but it's a shootout. I say go ahead and start them. Pitts is going to get his. He really is. London is still banged up. He missed last week. Mooney does not look good right now. So, yeah, Pitts is going to get his targets. Don't worry about that. If you have him and you're thinking about it, just start him. I think Mark Andrews goes up this week. With Lamar coming back, I think the offense and the target share changes a little bit. They're against Miami, so they're going to be able to throw the ball. So I do like the matchup. I do like Lamar coming back, and I think this might be the week you start Mark Andrews. Johnson's really getting figured back in. There for a while, he figured it out. He's figured in. He's almost a coin flip. If anybody above him in this list you have, I'd go ahead and start him over him. Just sometimes he disappears, but you never know. He might get his points, but I definitely don't have him so high up this week. He'll look good, and it looks like Dart is leaning on him. I do like that because there's no number one wide receiver like getting all the targets like Jamar Chase or something. So, yeah, I think he's still going to get his targets, and he's going to be a fine pickup. If you picked him up, I think you're going to get your points. Evan Ingram has not been amazing. He hasn't got a lot of points, and I don't think that's going to change. So, yeah, if you have him, he's just a low tier tight end, and it looks like Mims is even picking up his targets. So yeah, I don't think Evan really has a great spot in this offense right now. Ertz has a pretty good matchup. Daniel comes back this week. I think it's going to help him. Daniels uses him a little more. So yeah, look for Ertz to step up in points, but don't expect him to go off. The matchup's okay. Seattle does allow the 7th most points to fantasy tight ends, but there's definitely better options this week. Bowers might be back, and if he's back, I get it. Start him, uh, unless you have any of the tight ends on the top 2 tiers, because he's going to get worked in slowly. So be careful with that. Uh, be careful that he's not going to be super explosive. I don't think so. I just don't feel it. I don't feel it with Bowers this week. I think in the next couple of weeks he could even be tied in 1. But right now, Henry has a tough matchup this week. I play him based on matchups, and this matchup's not what you want. So yeah, go ahead and bench. TJ has not been figured in its offense, and I don't see it changing even with the quarterback change. Uh, it's like they can't run the ball. If you have a running back in this offense right now, I feel bad for you. They're not moving the ball. So I'm not big on him. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe JJ does start feeding him a little more. But right now, TJ has been a disappointment. Dalton is up next, and I'm not confident. I don't think he's going to get much workload. I'd go ahead and bench him. I don't think he's in the game plan. He wasn't last week, really. So, yeah, be careful playing Dalton. If you have any other questions about any other tight ends, ask me in the comments. I will help you out. If you can pick up the Chargers defense, do it. They're playing in Tennessee. Tennessee is last in offense. Easy pick, easy choice. That's why go get them. This 49er defense is here, and you know what? I like the matchup against the Giants. The Giants just got a downgrade at the running back position with Cam getting hurt, and Dart is looking a little more human now of people getting tape on him. He didn't have a number one target. So, yeah, 49ers defense is a pretty safe start. I love the Rams defense this week. They're already top tier in a couple things right now in fantasy football, but playing against Rattler, I love it. They're looking bad. Rattler did get benched, so even if they play the backup, it's going to be just as bad. Yeah, if you can pick up the Rams defense, go ahead and do it. I love this Detroit defense against JJ coming back. I'm not confident in JJ. I'm confident that the Lions can even confuse him. I'm confident the Lions are going to be a tough team for him to come back against. So yeah, you can pick up the Lions. Go ahead and start them. Broncos play Houston. Houston's running backs have not been great. CJ has not been great. This offense is going down farther in the ranks each week. So, with that being said, go ahead and pick up the Broncos to play against CJ Stroud. Right now, it looks like they don't know if they're going to give Woody or Chubb the ball. And it looks like it's just a mess back there in the backfield. Packers play Carolina. I do like that matchup. Young does not scare me. Looks like the running production has gone down, and just all year, this Packers defense has been top tier. So yeah, if they're probably not in your league to pick up, but man, they still are a top tier team to play. Jaguars got it good this week against Geno Smith. So playing the Raiders, I love it. Raiders don't really have a great wide receiver. Bowers has come back. How does that look? Are they going to work him in slow? But yeah, I do like this Jaguars defense against Geno Smith. I did want to mention the Colts defense against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's been looking worse and worse on offense. So yeah, if you have a last minute defense you need to pick up, you pick up the Colts. I'm not going to blame you. Steelers don't have an amazing running back. And you know what? The Steelers are number one in checkdowns. They don't really bomb the ball down the field, so they're not going to really get that home run. And the Colts are going to run the ball so much, they're going to keep their defense off the field. So that means Steelers are going to score very many points against them. So with that being said, go ahead and pick them up. Up next, guys, we have the running back tier list and wide receiver tier list for week number 9. Check it out. I'll see you soon. Thank you for subscribing and thank you for liking the video.